Come on.
Was the Wobbly Cat?
Now well, I wrote the tune and I played it to Eliza and Nancy when the Kings of Calicutt was just the three of us. So that's 16 years ago. Good Lord. Anyway, and it didn't have a name. I'd just written the tune, and they'd come from a duo gig the night before, and they'd stayed with people as you do after a gig, and they had this cat, and the poor old cat had been out on the road and got run over and not quite been killed, and and it had kind of slightly less head than it probably ought to have. And so it was a happy thing, apparently, this cat. And what it would do is, you know how cats rub up against your leg when they're happy and want your attention and stuff? This cat couldn't quite do that, so it would kind of sidle up and go. So Liza named the tune, really. Wobbly
Tall
Cat.
cat, if it was...
Well, yes. I wasn't going to get right down there to demonstrate, because that would upset the camera.
A leopard or something.
Yes, Wobbly Leopard. Much better name, Wobbly Leopard. Rah, big cat.
Yeah.
Anyway, shush. That's basically the moral of that one, is that Liza names tunes with silly names. And what's happened subsequently is that every single tune I've ever written has a silly name. They all have silly names. It's great. I love it.
I knew a person who had a three-legged cat once, and they called it Tripedipus. That was great.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's very good. But that's only the middle tune of that set. The first is a tune called Little Bear, and that was written by the fiddle player Lisa Ornstein, who's an American at large in Quebec, plays lots of Quebecois music. She's very, very, very good. And the last tune is, well, it's really called Twin Sisters, but I've always known it as the Upton on Severn Stick Dance, and it comes from Cotswold Morris. Actually, the tune, I think, comes from America, doesn't it? It comes from Vermont.
Yeah, I think right, yeah.
But, you know, I'll have that. We'll have that.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Here we are. Yeah.
So how did the two of you first meet?
It was in the Kings of Calicutt. Saul was already a member, and
Found a member, thanks.
yeah, found a member, and there was a change of lineup, and Liza saw me playing in I think it was in what was it, Windsor. I think we were playing at Windsor Arts Centre with a band called Epona, and she came up to me after the gig and just said, yeah, do you want to come up and play on the Evolving Traditions CD? I think it was the first.
Evolving Tradition 2.
Was it? And I think the next day or the next weekend I was up in Robin Hood's Bay doing that, and they asked me to join the band, so we went from there.
We did ask via our Twitter on the internet for any questions for you guys.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. I saw Jim Murray yesterday.
Yeah, Jim Murray did ask whether you would think about reforming Kings of Calicutt, and he said he would pay £4.11 towards that, and then
Not bad, actually.
Dave Delar threw in a fiver, and Annie Dunn said she'd double it as well.
Look at that,
Wow.
we're up to 19 quid.
It's like a sponsored band. That'd be great. Yeah.
Actually, 19 quid, that'd probably get Barn out of
might-
Blouse Better, wouldn't
It
it?
might.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and some chips. If we threw in some chips.
I'd throw chips at Barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I quite enjoy it.
I'll buy the chips.
I'll throw them.
Great. Hey, see how.
I don't know. You'd have to ask. It's Liza's band, really. It was all her idea. When I met Liza, she said, "Do you want to be in a band that I'm thinking about forming?" I don't think she told Nancy at the time, you know. And all of a sudden, I found myself in this band. And then she told Nancy. But anyway, there we go. I don't know. Is it a good idea? I quite like the fact that the Kings of Calicutt was around for a few years, had 4 different lineups, only ever made 1 album, and only ever did 1 tour. I quite like that, and then just went and self-imploded. Yeah. Yes, but Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, that's Kaiser Soze.
Is it?
Or maybe the two are related. I don't know.
You never see them in the same place.
No.
No. So no, probably just leave it to history, that one, because it was a mad thing. The thing is that we're all a bit older, and Mac was saying that he stripped out some of what he does when he plays, and I think I probably have as well. And if you listen to the Kings of Calicutt album, it's at 10,000 miles an hour. I can't play that fast anymore. Can't be done.